Well, thank you for talking to me. I appreciate it. I love the movie. I actually just got done watching it a little bit ago. Really loved it. What was it that drew you to the role, though?
I love the complexity of these characters. I thought the action sequences are so fast paced and fun, and the humor. I love the way the characters of Charlie and Marcy are, so opposite, but really want the same thing, which is to just escape.
Right? What? How did you become involved, though?
I got offered the role. I read the script. I've been a fan of Philip Noyce's forever since Rabbit Proof Fence, and I was really excited. I loved the role and the overall story of the script. And then, of course, Pierce Brosnan being attached didn't hurt. And I just felt like it was such a killer combination. And all of the pieces fell together. It was really exciting.
I was going to say, what was it like working with him?
Which one?
With Pierce Brosnan.
Um, it was wonderful. I was a little nervous initially, and you never know what somebody's going to be like, especially somebody with his experience and body of
Yeah.
work. But he was so kind and open and welcoming. I came onto the project fairly late. They had somebody cast originally that didn't work out, ended up not working out, and
Okay.
I was worried that, like maybe I'm not somebody's first choice or whatever. And he was so kind. And I had the best time working with him. He's so collaborative and such a gentleman, just a class act.
Is Since he has done a lot, is there anything you learned from him while working with him?
That even seasoned professional actors get nervous, are insecure about their work, and work really hard to be good.
Right. Now, obviously, this show has a lot of action, but like you said, also comedy. Do you find comedy like is that easier for you, or do you prefer drama? Like, which or do you have a harder time with? I should say.
I I think comedy is harder, honestly. I think the timing is really, really difficult, and I think people find different things funny. So there's like intricacies in comedy that are a little bit harder to touch on. A movie like this, the humor comes from the characters
Mhm.
and the dire straits that they're in, and I think and how people react under pressure. I think that's a very specific kind of humor.
Did you do any? I don't know. I was going to say any special preparation for this. I'm not sure if you researched taxidermy. I was trying to think that may not be
I
something you needed to
did.
do. Oh, you did? Okay.
No, I did. I really did. It's a very specific profession. I didn't know much about it. And I researched, I met with somebody. I watched her over Zoom do like a small bird. And it was all really interesting to me. It was not, there were so many components that I hadn't thought about. There's the animal that's been sort of stripped of its life, and it has no blood and no organs. And then you're just sort of replacing all of that stuff and making it come alive again. And there's an artistry to it and a specificity to making like a dead animal feel like it could move at any moment. And I learned a lot watching her work, and it fed my character quite a bit. I think part of the allure of Marcy is that she sees the death and the sadness and all of that stuff, and wants to keep going and make things better and complete and whole again.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know. I'd be kind of grossed out, but then I heard her explanation of why she liked it. I'm like, that's I never thought about it that way. It's kind of interesting. So, what part of her did you find the easiest, and what part did you find the most difficult to connect to, like character wise?
I definitely connected quite readily to this notion that you make mistakes in your life, and sometimes you sort of live for a long time trying to escape those mistakes or change them, right, for yourself. I have a hard time personally connecting with somebody who's so like hard and like, she's almost abrasive. She has had to put up a bit of a facade or like a hardness in order to survive in the environment that she's in and the people that she deals with. And particularly after having broken up with her husband and the kind of trouble that he probably got her into, she's had to really like cut that world out of her life. So that was, you know, it was a balance, and you want to be able to play a character that people still connect with and find and root for. So you can't put them off by being so hard. So that was sort of like finding that nuance was tricky.
Is there anything else I was gonna say, other than the character, was there anything else that you had difficulty with? I think you had sort of I'm very bad at knowing where the accent's from, but it looked like you had a little bit of an accent there for part of it. Was that something that you like? How was that doing that?
Yeah, that was tricky. It was, you know, there are, I learned hundreds of accents in that Louisiana area, and I worked hard at listening and trying to figure out who, you know, like which matched the kind of Marcy that I wanted to play, and then worked with the dialect coach. That was quite difficult to really, you know, make it authentic and feel like I wasn't thinking about it, because obviously I wanted to think about more the acting and not technical aspects of it.
Yeah, it makes sense. Did it take a long time to get the tattoos put on? I mean, you had quite a few, it looked like. At least I'm assuming they're not yours. I guess they could be, but I didn't think
they're
they
not.
were.
Yeah, they're not my tattoos. It did. It was a labor of love every morning. But we got quite good at it. And then there's, you know, certain scenes where like if I'm covered up, I don't need certain tattoos.
Yeah.
But yeah, you have to sort of reapply sometimes in the middle of the day. It was so humid, it was so hot, and like sometimes it would just rub off. But it really became that I became very attached to those as the character.
When you're taking on a role, what is it that you look for, like just in general, when you're deciding whether or not to do something? Is there anything specific?
I really need to be inspired by the piece as a whole. Also, obviously, who's involved. Life is too short to do something you don't enjoy. You know, Philip and Pierce were a huge draw, but also just, you know, a story that you want to tell that you think makes the world a better place, or at least can inspire people and support people, I think is really important to me.
Okay. I did, before we go, wanted to at least ask you one question about Firefly. I was such a fan back then. Would you ever, and I'm sure you're asked this a lot, but if they ever wanted to do, you know, something again, would you? And do you even see?
Yeah, of course. Of course. I mean, a part of me would love to get together with everybody again. Ron having passed away, it makes it really hard for us to ever feel like would be complete. And it's different. It's tricky. Like it lives in such a special place for me that I would hate to like have a bad experience or ruin it somehow, you know? So it's very fraught.
I didn't realize it had been 20 years. I looked up the date and I'm like, God, it's been
I know.
It's been forever.
Crazy. It's crazy.
So do you if you could pick any kind of role or make up any kind of role, what's something that you still would love to get to do in your career?
I've been saying a period piece, whether it's futuristic or in the past. It's something like a very stylized piece is something I haven't done yet that I'd really like to do.
It'd be fun. What's been your favorite that you've done?
Oh God, that is such a hard question.
Yeah.
You know, different projects for different things. Homeland was really fulfilling creatively and hard. Deadpool is incredibly fun and, you know, really nice to be kind of irreverent and wry. Gotham, I got to meet my husband on. You know, I don't know. There's like so many.
That's a pretty big thing there.
Yeah, I've been very lucky in my career.
Do you have anything coming up now that you can promote, that you can talk about?
Well, Deadpool 3, hopefully. Well, I'm in it, but hopefully it will be coming out on schedule next year. I just shot a film called Elevation, which we don't have a release date for yet, but that's a really fun, kind of another like post-apocalyptic end of the world kind of film. Yeah, those are the major things. Oh, and the Nexus video game. I forgot that I did the Assassin's Creed.
Oh, very cool. Is it, you mentioned Deadpool. Is it daunting doing something kind of that huge? Does that ever, do you really think about it, or do you just, it's the same as any other project?
By the time I did the first one, it was not a huge film. You know, we were doing a very small film in a way.
Yeah.
And then by the second film, it's so successful that there's definitely some fear of like, oh, we're gonna mess it up. But I have to say, like, the pressure is kind of not on me. I
That's true.
imagine Ryan feels a lot of that pressure. I get to kind of come in and have fun, which is the best.
Yeah, it does seem like it would be a fun one to work on, as does this. Like I said, I really enjoyed the film. So thank you for talking to
Thank
me. I
you.
appreciate it. Have a good rest of your day.
Thank you so much.
Bye bye.